everyone to the ASL Round of 32 Group G Challenger League, and our lovely player in the top right-hand corner, representing TT Seed, it is the Pink Zerg Revolution.
Woo! And the Orange Protoss. His opponent, the third Protoss of the night, is going to be from Boreal Gaming, swung down the bottom left-hand corner, TheTRUTH. This is, of course, a rematch from our first game of the night. As it was beginning, as it began, so shall it end. And in the first game, we saw Revolution 2-0 TheTRUTH pretty handily. Like, I'm not saying it was completely dominant, but there weren't really any moments when TheTRUTH looked like he was going to close out the game or looked like he was overwhelmingly ahead. And I mean, I don't know. I think I have to feel like it'll be at least a little closer. And we do quite often see in these sort of group formats, if we see a rematch, it very frequently actually goes the other way. So I would not be at all surprised to see TheTRUTH take that. That being said, I want to see some more UK fighting, so I kind of hope Revolution can close it out. I also want to get to bed pretty soon, because I've got to be up in 5 hours.
Cocaine fighting, you mean? Cocaine fighting.
Cocaine fighting, yeah.
Cocaine fighting, alright. I would just like to say, kind of random, but as I've said before, we need to get the WCS sounds when they have the two things they knock together, the sticks. I can't even remember what they're called, but in the background.
Oh, the noise sticks, thunder sticks?
Noise sticks, yeah. Whatever those are, but yes. So far, actually, Revolution going... Was that pool before hatch or hatch before pool? I don't think it matters right now, but very, very close.
It's hatch before pool.
Hatch before pool, alright. That actually makes a lot more sense. From TheTRUTH, playing pretty standard right now. Now, I'm kind of curious about what he's done right here. He did this in the first games we saw out of him, and I thought it was really, really cool, doing the 16 pylon down on the ground, then getting the cybernetics core out. But I almost feel it's kind of like being aggressive, then being like, wait, hold on, I'm not actually going to be aggressive. Just because you're getting that forge out and then getting up to go to the cannon, it's kind of mixed feelings.
I completely agree. I think that's a good point to make. And last time he brought a probe out and he constructed a forward pylon and got some reinforcements and tried to pressure this third. And what Trigonal and I were talking about earlier was as the Lings are going to go ahead and spot that forward probe, we were talking about earlier is that nobody's really done a real proper all-in against Revolution. The way that Uzi beat him was actually by responding well, and I think winning the psychological push-pull of the game. Instead, TheTRUTH kind of got beat handedly by really solid, responsive, reactionary macro out of Revolution. So it looks like TheTRUTH is going to do the exact same thing. This is a bit of a deja vu moment where he's getting a forward pylon, and he's going to come in with these 2 zealots along with his mothership core, and let's see if he can really get anything done. This is pretty much the same amount of Lings, same response here, but this time he's pulling his zealots back.
But a different pylon position. Now, obviously, he does not have gateway yet, but it's only about it's actually only about 20 seconds away. So if he can get that up and defend this pylon for a little while, like he has his zealots beautifully placed to work well. And what I was going to say is I like this pylon position because it's a little bit different than normal, but definitely wasn't the ones he had before. Revolution's going scouting. Oh, no pylon. It is now scouting the ground, but he will have to see that very soon, or gateway is done right now. 2 gates only, but 4 zealots are a lot more than 2, especially with a nice pylon.
Yeah, and a couple of Lings going down. More Lings have to come in here for Revolution because he doesn't quite have enough to hold this off now. And this is looking a lot better for TheTRUTH than it did last game. This time his first 2 zealots have survived. They can join up with another 2, and Revolution is having to pull another queen over here. He's having to invest a little bit more in defending this, but he thinks he's got enough. 3 roaches on the way, and I don't necessarily think he's wrong. But these are +3 zealots, +1 zealots, and they're pretty scary.
Guys, I figured it out. TheTRUTH is actually playing Terran as a Protoss. These are Hellions and a Reaper. This is not Zealots. And,
Okay, Hellions and a Reaper moving in. The very, very nice micros so far from these queens. Actually, sorry, a little bit started there, but very nice micro from these queens. But they do not have any transfuse, so they're very, very low. I think the Truth would pull really, really quickly, or either force them down with the queen, or sorry, with the mothership core. But it looks like I'm not actually sure if he's going to be able to get this hatchery, which he desperately needs to get. One transfuse does go down. Actually, two transfuses goes down. All the queens are okay. Morlings flooding in, but at the same time, more zealots coming in. And now 6 roaches. This is really kind of gone from looking pretty good for the Truth to looking not so good. In the same, essentially the same outcome, except for he sacrificed more zealots. And his opponent has actually got out more queens. So interesting outcome.
Yeah, I would say that this is the exact same thing that, we were kind of talking about, is that you're doing this quasi-aggressive pressure, and when you've got a player like Revolution, who I'm going to go ahead and say his playstyle is to be reactive. Like, he really just is perfectly content with seeing what his opponent's doing and then making a game plan once he's figured that out, and he does it really well. And I think the Truth, played it out better. I mean, that went about as well as he could have imagined it to, and it still didn't work out in his favor. So imagine, what's going through the Truth's head right now. Oh God, this is the second time he's been able to hold that against me. What am I going to do?
Yeah, he is throwing down a Twilight Council and more gates. Trigadon, what do you think he's going to pull from this? Just trying to get up to possibly +1, or trying to get up to pretty high upgrades with that Twilight Council, or what do you think? DTs. Okay, I answered.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. We're going to see some DTs, and that's actually hidden down in the bottom right-hand corner. So this is not somewhere where Revolution is looking to scout, really. And this is going to do pretty well.
Though.
Ooh, Blink as well as DT. There's a bunch of stuff.
Warp Prism also. M+2 ground weapons. Now, isn't so severe as one of the games we saw from him where he went for Blink, 1-1, and then the Storm, but it still is a little bit of... I feel like, I don't know if I was casting this with you when we were casting one Zerg player that got every upgrade before he actually did anything. And so I don't feel like that's exactly what we're saying, but I definitely feel it's kind of pulling him a little bit thin on gas. Tyrannus.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of his upgrades, and he's going to hit a pretty strong timing later on. But it does leave him a little weak right now. But when he has like his Blink and his +2 and his Dark Shrines and his Immortals all going on, then it's going to be pretty scary for Revolution. But on the other hand, Revolution does have this time sort of to do his own thing, to break down the rocks, to get his own tech up and get his production up and running.
Yeah, Warp Prism in the Roll Prism top right hand corner will be spotted by the Overlord actually. Tyrannus, what were you about to say?
I honestly wanted to see these DTs be used as defensive DTs. I thought there was going to be a Spore Crawler down here. There's not, so he is actually going to be protected with the third. I'm going to take back everything I just said. So he's going to go ahead and target down that hatchery. Not the biggest loss. I don't think this really takes away from the strength of Revolution's eventual push, but it is making him think twice about being able to move out. And I would have liked to have seen the third get taken a little sooner from the Truth because he was using these DTs. Typically when you make a sacrifice like going a DT tech, which if it's found out, it's totally screwed, right? Typically when you make that sacrifice, you're doing it to gain a leverage. You're not doing it just to take out the hatchery. You're also doing it to go ahead and take your third back home at the same time because, even though it seems like, okay, he's getting his third base up, he's got a pretty healthy unit, the Truth is behind right now and he knows it.
Yeah, most definitely from that position. And the one kind of interesting thing I like to point out is we do see Revolution going for Overlord speed right now. I think it would be actually kind of funny if he scouts the DT shard on the bottom right-hand corner, just sends some lings to take it out. I'd really kind of like to see that, but we do see Revolution moving across the field with this very heavy roach play. Now, he does have a couple DTs still, I believe. Yeah, with
no
his main
observers with the army. Yeah, no overseers. No overseers with the army, so...
Yeah. And two Immortals, actually. So for now, with these sentries, I feel like he should be able to pretty much defend this or slaughter the entire army if he's stupid enough to go in for the kill.
There's the overseer now, yeah.
Oh.
Is that me?
Is it me?
It's not me.
It's not me.
I got waiting for server, so I think it's me, but looks like it's all done. Yeah.
Oh, very nice attempt by Revolution, actually going for one pylon. Going for the gateway, won't quite get it, pulling back.
I think he just wants to make sure there's, no kind of problem with the lag, so...
I had no errors. I don't know if that's me, because sometimes I had issues before, but there's nothing that popped up on my screen.
This is going to be an interesting engagement. There's a lot of roaches. There are 2 Immortals and 4 sentries, but a couple of them are low on energy, so we're only going to have 2 that are really going to be popping out. I think it's going to be 3 force fields total that he's going to be able to shoot out. That Archon is definitely going to be key. I mean, he's showing them right in the front, so he's going to be taking the first couple of Roach volleys. +3 is about to finish, and honestly, I want to see the Truth wait to engage this army. He's trying to shoot it away, but +3 is so close to finish. You know, why not try and wait and take the engagement when it's really on your terms?
Yeah, I agree, definitely, but still with the Truth, I think his army right now is so strong, actually, versus this Roach composition, especially with some pretty good force fields we see him previously do. But on the same time, Revolution with some great creep spread, as we've talked about in the very first series we saw him play, and just on this map, such good creep spread, but he won't quite spot these DTs in the left-hand corner. Yeah,
and that's going to be the down. He's going to lose all these drones if he's not careful, and now he's going to try and just go ahead and YOLO swag, and there comes the army across getting met at the top of the ramp.
Interesting time warp.
He is going to drive it off, though, and now Revolution has to circle around again to try and get to the third base, but this gives the Truth so much time with these DTs to do damage and just to get his army in a good position. And it's going to be really tough for Revolution to do damage here, I think.
Oh, one-shots the gates. Very, very nice. Revolution getting actually not a really good concave right here, having to pull back. And blink forward from the Truth. Revolution coming back into this. He really wants to split his units a bit, which it looks like he's trying to do, but a Time Warp will actually stop that. And I think he's on full run home right now for Revolution, but Truth can't really push out and push him back. And I like that creep right there. Not sure what he's going to do with it, but I like it.
The Truth doesn't actually have any detection with his army, and I don't think Revolution got a good spot on that, because if he had, like a big burrow underneath all those units would have been really, really nice. Coming out straight on the Immortals and focusing them down, I think could have done a lot of damage. But
Overseer's with the main army now. He wants to be very, very careful right here and not to extend too far thinking about that, but it looks like he's got the Archons there. None actually. Roach is getting a very, very nice concave here, but some nice force fields actually. They will burrow.
Oh, there's the play Trigonal was talking about.
So hard. These Immortals need to be able to focus these down, but right now they're actually moving back and not even attacking. A little bit of bad position for Immortals though. Roach is moving in more. This does not look good for the Truth. Roach is taking out the final, or actually taking out the other Immortals, and right now no meat with these Immortals. They need meat. And I presume that is GG, unless we're going to see some crazy comeback right here. But 3 gates coming down, plus 2 armor.
I mean, there's a lot of... These Zealot Rumbies are doing a lot of work, so yeah. Revolution is actually down to 35 drones right now, and the Truth is harassing him all over the place, so I don't think it's GG just yet, but certainly in the army engagement, Revolution has just taken a dominant fight, but he can't really pressure the Truth on it because he has to spend all his time, pardon me, back home, stopping this warp prism from just tearing him apart. Now he can start moving across the map, and he's still got a really, really strong army engagement. Army advantage though, so he still could do a lot. But this time, the Truth hasn't observed his army.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, make 10 to 15 lings, then send your roaches, move your roaches, because what do we got right here? We got 9 stalkers and a Colossus. Not gonna do much versus probably 50 roaches right here. Yes, Roaches trying to get a nice concave, but they don't really need it right here. I'd love to see the armies split up. One goes for the natural, one goes for the third, or at least after the army. Right now, DT's slowly working away, but the Overseer will come. These Stalkers may be able to snipe the Overseer. There's a nice time warp going down. Moving forward with these Roaches, really I feel like you should commit to either going after the army or going for the natural, which he looks like getting in beautiful concave on the natural. One Immortal, desperately trying to be a hero here, but I don't think it'll happen.
Not at all.
Looking really rough at the massive roaches, and you know there is a hatchery going down at the third, but this it typically comes down to army versus army in the end, as we all know. And while these roaches
Colossus
are a lot, the Colossus down, and this is looking rather rough for the Truth here. And pretty much no army to contest this. 2 DTs making their way into the natural, and I mean, this might be a little bit base tradey, but in essence, those roaches are going to tear things up way quicker than these DTs are. There's the oh my god called from the Truth. He's not happy about something, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 DTs are going to do, they do a lot of DPS, but I don't think these roaches out DPS 2 DTs, and they're going to tear through these whole bases, but FYI is kind of running out of stuff at home.
I was going to say, FYI, while this has gone on, the third base of Revolution out, the natural being taken down, and he has lost 40 workers lost to 37 workers. Now, if there was like 2 Stargates producing Void Rays out of here, I would say Truth is in a nice position. But at home, I mean, he's defended off the last DT. He's only got a few workers, but what does the Truth have? 2 DTs, 3 DTs, 4 DTs.
He's got my sympathy.
He's got a sympathy. I definitely, as a Protoss player right now, sympathy. I think really what happened there is, Trigonal and I have casted a few games when this happened, is the Protoss player is not ready for that burrow in that move forward, and then they just got destroyed, and then his Immortals, 4 of his Immortals, run backwards, don't actually attack, are still on move, and then get taken out. 1 Archon desperately will micro right here, taking out every Roach. Not.
Yeah, I mean, pretty Mike, but I don't think it's happened.
GG!
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. ASL Group G Challenger League action here. It's the Lazarus matchup, potentially the last match of the night. It's, of course, the second match of the evening. First one, Overwatch going to our Zerg player. Second one, Secret Spring. We'll see how things work out in this PVZ. Get right into these introductions. Spotting in the top right-hand corner, he is your Orange Protoss, currently down 1-0 against his Zerg opponent. It is, representing Boreal Gaming, TheTRUTH.
And his opponent is going to be down the bottom of the left-hand corner. Spawning in as the Pink Zerg, representing TTC, and 1 game away from the round of 16. It is Revolution.
Ooh. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this game. Definitely, as we were kind of talking about during the break, what if the Truth does Uzi's move, doing that Void Ray, but maybe not. I'm guessing probably not. We'll have to see from right here.
Yeah, we will. It's going to be a bit interesting. And last game, of course, on Secret Spring for Revolution, he used a couple of links to break down these collapsible rock towers and sort of give himself a bit of safety, a bit of breathing room to macro up in. Yeah. And that got completely subverted by the Truth. And it looks like, oh my god, this game, I think the Truth was it got completely subverted by Uzi as it was in that game. This game, I think the Truth was trying for something a bit similar, but Revolution is going to scout that immediately.
Revolution, no.
Seeing this proxy pylon, which can of course walk onto the low ground, and that's just not going to happen. Revolution can send a few lings over there. It's going to proxy Stargate again.
Why would you break the rocks? Would you not send the lings over to attack it? Why would you break the rocks?
He's going to send 1 ling over to attack it, but I feel like breaking the rocks is still an okay option because that he keeps defensive as he wants to be. Yeah. The 1 ling can go around, confirm that it's a Stargate, then he just defends it with Queens and Spore Crawlers. Because the main problem in the last game when it was double Stargate Void Ray is it just came in and like 3 Void Rays started focusing down Global, and then he started some Spore Crawlers and repositioned 1, and then there were 4 Void Rays by the time it got to his base, and they just killed all his Spore Crawlers before they finished, and he never got the chance to have a reaction time. Whereas now, he's seen the Stargate before it's even started.
Yeah.
He has that reaction time, and he can very, very easily defend against it. We've seen that fact before, that Revolution loves to go up to like 10 Queens, just do a big push with them, and Queens are so strong in combat, especially if they haven't been spreading creep and they've been building up like 200 energy and they got 1 billion transfuses and your units never die. It's incredible.
Yeah, so now that obviously Stargate was scouted, really he does not want to go into the Void Rays out here. Going Phoenix, I think, is a wise decision. Try to take out these Overlords, and I think that's going to work out decently for him. Obviously, in a little bit to mid-game, will be taken out. But also, just Revolution taking down the rocks. Again, he can't touch that Stargate. That Stargate's there for a while. Phoenix working on it right there. Interesting enough, Mothership Core also deciding to take down the Rock Tower. Now, I'm curious how the Truth is going to play, whether he's going to do greedy or just deciding, you know what, I want to do that too. A little bit of safety for him.
Yeah, I don't know. Both players kind of playing for that little bit of safety. The Truth hasn't actually seen that the Rock Tower on the other side has been broken down. And so that's going to be a little bit of an interesting thing. They both don't know that the other one's trying to play quite defensively. And Revolution, he's starting to work on the rocks up to the north side. So gonna be trying to open up a little bit of sneaky secret attack route. Whereas the Truth getting these Phoenixes out, he hasn't really got the chance to get into any meaty drone lines and get damage done with them yet. that I mean they've killed an overlord or two.
Yeah, and definitely in the early game, I mean, you're not going to have 50 extra supply of overlord there, so it'll do damage there. 3 Phoenixes out right now, really on the overlord hunt, which almost all the overlords have been pulled back except for one off the north-south face of the Truth's base. These Phoenixes will go into the natural and actually say, poking in and saying, nope, not going to try to go for that Spore Crawler right there, but I love this Queen, trying to put a little bit of pressure on, and then the Void Ray. I actually think this is really, really cool out of the Truth.
Yeah, it's going to add a lot of damage to be able to threaten this third base. The Mothership Core on its own is just going to kind of tickle away at it, but the Void Ray is absolutely just going to punch it in the gut until it falls over and then continue kicking it until it stops moving. And that hatchery's got to be cancelled. There's no way he's saving it.
Tyrannus, what are you thinking of right now what's coming out of Revolution? He hasn't really shown any tech path yet, actually, as I say that. He puts down a layer. But what do you think we're going to see out of him? Only on 2 gas so far, and only 2 to 3.
I mean, a lair isn't even that much of a tell, is it? It's kind of a natural progression. I think. I think
he's not doing a roach all in.
Yeah, no, I think the thing that we've kind of realized about him, at least I've said this, I don't know if you guys agree with me, is that he's a reactive player and he waits to see what he's got going on before he really does anything. And I think the Truth has kind of got him guessing a little bit. He saw the early, Stargate, which you would expect Oracle, even though it was scouted, and then, he did this neat little Mothership Core Void Ray pressure on the cancel of the third. Revolution's going to have to go and take the top third. So I think Revolution is kind of second guessing himself. He's got 36 droning drones on the natural mineral line because he had to pull from the third, which I don't even think he had even saturated a little bit. So maybe he's just a little bit uneasy right now. And now he's going to throw down. There's your call. He's going to throw down a Roach Warren as well as an Evo Bay, and there's a Hydralisk Den as soon as he can. So Roach Hydra pretty standard. We've seen that out of him every game against Protoss. But I think the thing is he was a little taken aback because it's minute 10 right now, and he's just now establishing his third, of course, after losing it. So I think he's really just been second-guessing his playstyle the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the same time, the Truth has had to force out a lot of units to be able to take out that third. And even though, obviously, right now, Revolution can't even see whether there is a third, and that's a little bit worrisome for him, that I feel like it was kind of a commitment to do that right there, to take out that third. And right now, Queens are out. They should be able to push back any of these Phoenixes. 5 Queens are a good amount to have. But this third base in not a good position. Void Ray saying, you know what, I can hit whatever base I want to hit. And going for that. Now, there is only 3 Phoenixes to defend, though, 5 Queens, so it'll be a tough decision. Tough break, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's just going to use the energy on those Phoenixes to kill off a few more drones, a bit more guaranteed damage than the possibility that he can take out those Queens, and I think it was definitely a possibility.
He's taking the gold! Sorry.
Sorry, I looked at this. I saw this, and then started processing. I was still thinking about what I was saying, started processing it, and this is crazy. This is not something I've seen somebody literally ever do on Secret Spring. I've never seen those gold bases be taken, but I think it's really cool.
I was just thinking about this, right? Because I haven't played these maps. I think I've played one qualifier, right? And so, and I got platinum. But this gold base is so defended. Like, what can it's got rock wall, and I mean, you can shoot up when you get vision and you have Hydras, but of course the Protoss player can shoot down, and he seems to have a concave advantage if an engagement were to go down there. And I mean, if you take the gold, right? Like, there's nothing. You've got a long walk, which you're going to show up at the doorstep of the ramp anyway. Somebody tell me why they don't take the gold all the time. Is that something you're saying it's new? You haven't seen that? I would take the gold every time if I could.
What normally happens for the Protoss player is either, okay, Revolution. Normally the Zergs don't actually bar themselves in like this, so the Zergs are almost always on your side of the map, being very, very pressuring you a lot. So and then you try to take the third up where he's currently trying to take, or where he's currently got a pylon, or the one below you. But honestly, now that I look about it, if you're playing Protoss, I think it's a very good decision. But any other race, not really, because the only reason is because you can warp in units at that. But I think really that Stargate also just gives them a little bit more safety right there. But Trigano, I'd like your thoughts on that actually, because as a player, I know I've kind of tried it and it hasn't worked, but I can't actually tell you specifically why.
I don't know. I think it's just because of the kind of shorter rush distance rather than any kind of positional thing. But it is a bit of a weird one because Secret Spring has pretty short rush distances, fairly overall, currently, I think this is actually going to work out really, really well for Truth because the gold base is actually so far away from Revolution's third. If Revolution had taken his third where he wanted it, in the position sort of horizontal from his natural, then I don't think it would work out nearly as well. Revolution would have much, much shorter distance to this goal base. And we're actually going to see how well it will work out as Revolution is starting to push in towards that base now.
Yeah.
But the Truth has a little zealot run by going to the third at the same time. And it looks like Revolution's actually going to have to run back to deal with that.
Yeah, I'd actually just say the main reason is normally the rocks aren't taken down so early. And then the third right there, or I'd say that the third, if he would have kept his original third, he could pressure down those rocks and have a really quick position on that. But now that also say that the Truth right there in that position, with those Colossus on the high ground, is going to be so powerful to walk by that area, but there is some creep going up on it. And finally, Revolution taking down those rocks, which is a little bit of an interesting decision. The top rocks and the bottom rocks are taken out, but this seems to be favoring the Truth a little bit more.
Okay, this is why I don't take the gold, because Revolution's got like a free pass into the natural, and now if you get caught here, you're absolutely screwed. And this is what I was talking about earlier. He can't recall. The Colossi are all out in the open. There, the force field's going down. Guardian Shield.
But the Colossi can just walk up on the high ground of the gold. A big concave force field.
I'd just like to point out, these force fields are amazing.
Yeah, they were really nice.
Really incredible force fields. But Revolution has been kind of rebuffed from this gold base, and these queens are so slow.
But they're so meaty, taking a lot of damage with
those fuses right there. Looks like desperately Truth trying to get a nice position. Stalkers doing what they can with some nice blink micro. Right now, it's really nice as Stalkers can blink down, blink up. Colossus can move down, move up. So very, very versatile. One Colossus in the main of Truth, but no sentries. And I love how Tyrannus, I love how Trigonal and I, or mainly I, am stumbling over why you wouldn't take that. Trigonal's like, okay, I think it's this. The Tyrannus is like, wait, guys, I've never even played this map, but I know exactly why.
I might be completely wrong, but like you said, the blink of the Colossus stepping up and down kind of countered that point a little bit. He's able to capitalize on the mobility of his army, which you wouldn't necessarily consider Colossi to be a very mobile unit, but especially in terms of the capability that Reapers share with them, being able to get up and down cliffs very easily, along with the blink stalkers, really able to make that work. And as long as he's been able to hold this gold, I would have thought that he would have had a much bigger lead. But +3 is about to kick in. He's getting a 5th Colossus added to the mix, as well as keeping all his sentries alive. It's a really good defense from the Truth, and I think things are about to get really hairy for Revolution, even though he's got a massive supply lead right now. Just a guess.
Okay, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna go against that because of the Viper. But then again, only 2 Vipers actually might get a nice position. So a decent concave with Revolution. 2 Colossus being pulled back, both being sniped down. Some more force fields not actually gonna come out. We see Stalkers on the high ground trying to do it out. Colossus need to desperately move up to the high ground or they will be taken out. Stalkers being blinked down and try to desperately take this out. And it looks like maybe the forces of Revolution will be taken down. But that was the majority of the tech for the Truth, and he only has 1 Robobay. Another Colossus coming out. These 2 Vipers did their jobs right there, and I'd love to see a big tech switch. But it doesn't look like we'll see it right now since there is no possibilities. But right off the bat of that, I don't even understand. Off the tip of that, I'd love to see Revolution go into one of these third bases or the fourth to put it in its place.
I think right now Revolution is just deciding what he wants to do. He's got
exactly.
He's just lava starved. Actually, I just looked at the units tab and he's just got like 2 lava. He's got a massive bank. He's thrown down a few macro actors. He's taking the gold of his. He's taking his own gold. But yeah, if he had the macro hatches, we could see an enormous remax. As it is, just a few roaches coming in. But I mean, that could still be enough for him to push through the 2 summons. Truth does have 3 Colossi here, but the 2 Vipers survived. They've now got back up to double abduct energy, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, Revolution could definitely make something happen.
That's the issue though you're referring to. Is you said he's trying to decide what he wants to do. When you're a Zerg player, you start to find out that the real benefit comes from like a super large ton, a ton of a super large ton, right? It's not just a regular ton; it's a really big ton, but a super large amount of injections or injects over time. Right?
Yeah.
When it really culminates in getting a massive amount, and that's when you know that you've got that huge bank of larva and that huge bank of minerals and gas. And like you said, he was larva starved, and that gave the Truth you know, a little bit of chance to get his army back into shape. And he's held this gold for much longer, now establishing his fourth and pressuring Revolution's third. This third might go down if he's not quick enough on the response. If he targets it, instead he's going to go for the drones. Not a bad idea either. But in the end, you know, he's got the hatcheries when he was lacking them was really he didn't have the larvae, and that's, you know, taking away the huge benefit of being Zerg.
Yeah, I think it's a bit from all this harass. Revolution had spent so much love in remaking these drones because the truth has been constantly zealot walkers and run-bys.
Yeah, close cancel.
Yeah, gets cancel, pulls back. Revolution has to go back over towards his third base again to clean up these zealots. Another warp-in, I'm sure, will be on the way imminently. And Revolution is still on 3 bases at the 21-minute mark. The truth is on 4 bases. One of them are gold, and things are looking a little bit dicey for Revolution. He's going to have a Mucus Remax, but he wants to have that off of... Oh, he's got the gold, I guess. He wants to have it off of, like, 4 or 5 bases and just an inordinate amount of gas. As it is, like, he's got a 13 Mucus Remax, which is, like, it's not that scary at 22 minutes. Blinkstalker's going to handle that.
Let's give a shout out. This is a fantastic game. These players are both playing really well. I think no matter who wins this at this point, you know, both
beautiful storms. Forcing the army to actually move in a lot of those storms. Some decent force fields. Nice, though. Storm right there. One thing I'd like to point out is so many of these zealot run-bys can happen because he has the gold. That's just a little bit of extra income. Lets him be able to spend it on that. A lot more High Templars being warped in. Some nice stalker positions. If we got just a couple couple storms that go down, but these Colossus actually being pulled forward, taken, barely be not taken out. Stalkers overwhelming in the amount of them are. Vipers running home. Nothing being made currently for Revolution. Right now, Truth walking across the map. 23 Mutalisks being made, but I feel like Stalker on Meta is going to win right here. Working away at some gradual creep right here, trying to do whatever they can. But with Blink, I mean, I don't know what these Mutalisks can do right here off the back of this. That was those beautiful storms.
There's a couple storms. There's 19 plus 3 plus 2 Stalkers. These Mutalisks are they're just not going to make it happen.
In Mutalisks at 0-1, and then those Hydralisks only at 2 attack, and the Truth at almost 3-3. So that was actually 2-3 coming on shields.
So this is the perfect example of playstyle matching the map. The Truth, we haven't seen this playstyle out of him tonight because we just haven't seen. I don't know if we didn't see him on the Secret Spring, did we? As these mutas are going to finally come in over, try to make something happen. But I think it's a little too late. If it decides the base trade right now, we know who's going to win this. But in terms of this,
it doesn't have a mothership core.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Look, I mean, look, it is what it is. Lasers, pew pew. But like I was saying, right, the Truth like played this perfectly, taking the gold, pressuring the third. We started this game with a Void Ray and a Mothership Core taking out a third. Like, what?
He has to kill those Archons.
I agree, but I've seen that happen. I don't remember when. I think it was actually in the late Wings of, or not late Wings of Liberty. There's no Mothership Core, but in very early HOTS, I actually feel like I saw that a lot. Mutalisks finally saying, crap, we gotta go back. Vipers have enough each for an Abduct and maybe some nice Blinding Clouds, but these Mutas will go over 3 Stalkers. Mutas saying, no way, Jose, we're taking them out. And right now, Archon's actually quite nicely sniped, but there's so many Stalkers. A very nice Storm goes down, and right now, we see Revolution on 1 base, and he didn't even kill a base of the Truth. He literally didn't even kill any of the bases, only workers. Beautiful Blink, some nice Blinding Clouds with the Blink, save all those Stalkers. Mutalisks going down, GG! The Truth takes game 2. Back, everyone, to the round of 32 Challenger League ASL Group G final game of the night. And in the 1 o'clock position, playing for Boreal Gaming, the Gold Protoss, The Truth. You can't handle the Truth.
Well, I think this pink Zerg down in the bottom right-hand corner will have something to say about that, because he certainly believes he can handle the Truth. He handled him pretty well in our first game of the night. And we'll see whether he can do it again. From TTZ, the pink Zerg Revolution.
Oh, I just felt like adding that in right there.
The
Beautiful.
Tarzan yell.
And we will see. Wow, out of the Truth Forge Fast Expand. Now, I like it on this map.
It's gonna be a.
But I'm not sure if it. What? Oh, it's gonna be cannon.
Why
do I always? I've done that multiple times. I'll be like, dang, I haven't seen a Forge Fast Expand in a while. Then Trig will be like, hey Tim, there's like 2 cannons down right there. Like, oh. But we will see a cannon.
Yeah, you're like, why is he doing a Forge Fast Expand? And I'm like, cannons, duh.
Yeah, I'm like, this is
what else
really
do you do a Forge Fast Expand?
They shoot up and down and
I
they
play my
text them.
PVZs.
Yeah. This probe desperately trying to cancel the hatch. It'll let it go down after losing half health. Going into the main, seeing what it can see, seeing spawning pool and being like, oh crap. I don't know, I'm going to cannon rush too well without a pylon. Hey guys, maybe no cannon rush. Wink, wink.
You know
wink.
what?
Wink as tears pour down his face.
It looks like the Truth just doesn't have enough faith in cannon rush. There's a spot in Catalina. You get like 2 pylons. This kind of patch of 3 minerals. You get 2 pylons down there and like 3 across the other one, and then there's a space for 2 cannons, and you're just like boom, cannon spot, cannon spot. Ugh, I hate cannon rushes.
Yo, look at how quick this third is going down for Revolution at the 4-minute mark.
Dang.
Revolution is saying, I'm going to get up into my macro that I love, and then I'm just going to roach in. Okay, this is completely no reason why, but I think he's going to do the roach into tunneling claws again. I kind of feel that.
I mean, no reasoning why. That's a great prediction. He's done that multiple times tonight. I think that's a fantastic
so far in the
call.
game. So far in the game. Okay, well, thank you. I was trying to say...
No. Hold on a second. Don't downplay yourself, okay? You might be a gold random player, a platinum Protoss, NA, but look, you fucking make that call, all right? Do it again. Call the call again. Let's hear it.
I'm feeling, because of my amazing just know-how in this game at a Grandmaster level of play, we see Revolution doing tunneling claws, or roaches into tunneling claws from this 3-base position. And thank you for that. You know, normally I'm wrong, and I feel like Trigonal just like blows me out of the water with his calls. And right there, I was like, I think this is gonna happen, but I'm too afraid he's like gonna be like, oh, psych.
No. Look, you're still wrong, but it's at least do it with confidence.
You know what?
You know what? Him up just to knock him down.
Tyrannus, I need you to just Jamie. We're not looking at Tyrannus. We're not talking to Tyrannus. We are going through this. I believed in myself. We will see the 3 bases getting down. Natural base, almost saturated. Couplings coming out. And I still believe in Roach's Tyrannus. I still believe in Roach's. Kind of want to meet
safe
now.
It's not going to be Banelings, is it?
Yeah. I think roaches are a good call. I think we are going to see roaches at some point in this game. It's the burrow and the and such. Revolution getting a much later gas style. And this reminds me of what he did in his first game, I think, of the night. Because I remember thinking he had like really, really late gas. But we'll see what he does with it, because it could turn out a bit differently. This game he has managed to get up that super fast 3rd base, because obviously in the face of a Forge Fast Expand, the only pressure you're going to be facing is cannons. And if you can keep a good tack of that probe, you know it's not going to be putting down any cannons in your base. So you can just get tons and tons of bases, tons and tons of econ, and be super, super greedy, play that perfect Zerg style where you just get up fast 3 bases, and then the map's your oyster. You've got all the time in the world to figure out what you want to do against Force Fast Command. Nothing's going to be coming at you before about like 8 minutes.
Hey Tyrannus, I distinctly am clicking on a Roach Warren. No, I'm joking. I know it's not really showing the Tendon Claw, but he will be going up to Leia right now. Revolution, and completely saturated actually each of his bases. He's going to be in an amazing position, especially, I was going to say if there was a lot more Lings there, and then I go there and I'm like, never mind, not the 3rd going to be taken down by some surprise Lings. But Void Rays coming out for Truth here with +1 ground weapons. This is going to be very scary to deal with, I feel like, for Revolution.
Yeah, we'll see what comes out. I think the Truth, like we saw last game, just tried to keep Revolution guessing until he wanted to make a play, right? And you know, we know there's going to be roaches. We know there's going to be you know, that sort of play from Revolution, because he hasn't really changed it. You know, he hasn't really what else is he going to do? I mean, he does a Muta switch towards the end, but it's very standard Zerg play to do the Roach Hydra versus Protoss, especially mid game.
Actually, I'm getting really on board with Dronok's Burrow Roach prediction.
Oh, are you?
We've got that +1 attack. We've got the same kind of late gasless opening. Okay, the Hydra
need to trust
so the Hydrogen. What do we think about the Hydrogen then?
The Hydrogen's to research Hydra Burrow.
He wants the Scouting Phoenix to see the Hydrogen, and then think he's got to go against Hydra.
If that was actually the case, I think that'd be a really cool mind game. But it doesn't like we'll see that. The Scouting Phoenix will literally scout almost everything except for the Hydra Den. So interesting from there. And then Void Ray Immortal once more coming out of Truth. I'm curious to see how he's going to make this work. He's the player we saw Immortals coming out of earlier, right? Who went like 5 Immortal versus Terran.
That was Uzi.
Uzi, yeah, you're right. Uzi, a beautiful player. Couple of small Roach hit squad, almost taking out a sentry. So close. This Void Ray takes out 1 sentry, tries to take down the third, or take down the second. I just kind of skipped from 1 to 3. There is no 2 in my vocabulary. And that rhymed.
It's okay, great. Counting is hard.
We leave it to the British.
Yeah, dang Brits. Some great creep spread by Revolution right here, especially with 6 queens being like, ain't nobody stopping this creep spread. Roaches not being pulled out. Hydra's being made. A couple Roaches, though. And I would actually, I think Tunneling Claws would actually be a really good decision here, but he's going instead into Hydralisk +1 range. And this is going to be a very powerful attack, and I'm a little bit worried for the Truth just because he has Void Ray Immortal. A little bit.
I will say that one thing we haven't seen much out of Revolution is, we were talking about how he reacts, this and that. It's just in the theme the way I keep talking about it. But I mean, really, he hasn't varied his game that much. It's either Hydras or a lot of Roaches. Like he does his like delicate little blend, but as he pokes in with a couple of Roaches here. But we haven't seen, the SH word. We haven't seen Swarm Hosts. We haven't seen, he'll throw in Vipers.
The SH word. That is
he'll throw in Vipers towards the end, but we haven't seen Infestors. Now we see the Hive going down, and it's like maybe we'll see some SH go, along with the Infestation Pit and things like that. But he typically does this Roach Hydra Queen push and see if it works. He's got a lot here with it.
It definitely is here. A couple nice force fields go down. This cannon actually aiding a lot. To double time warp, okay, I don't like that. I don't think it's a great idea, but it might be. Some nice force fields still. Actually, I take that back. The time warp on the upper time warp is very nice. These 2 gates will go down, which will strike a lot of his gateways down. I have to put 2 more gates down. He's only on 3 gates now. Another gate going down. And right now, I mean, 2 Immortals, 3 Void Rays, and a couple Stalkers are not going to do that well versus so many Hydras with +1 range. Actually, those Queens are pushing back these Void Rays as they come in. Hydralisk moving up into the main, or moving up into the natural. Colossus desperately trying to fight that back. Void Ray being pulled back. Hydra's getting a very, very nice concave as well with these Queens. And I'm a little bit worried about these Queens here with the amount of Stalkers, but it looks like they pretty much will get pulled back. Road two Hydras, I would say a whole bunch of Hydras, but 2 Hydras in the natural working away on the pylon. This does not look good, especially when Roaches are still coming out, and no Swarm Hosts, because I have to shoot down everything Tyrannus says now.
Yeah,
it looks good.
I said he doesn't do
Revolution. There's just so many Hydralisks here now. A Colossus in the natural. One got taken out, another one is coming in. But without any range yet, they're the same range as the Hydralisk. So if they're attacking, they can be attacked. They're actually
Hydras actually have more than the range. Hydras are at +1.
Yeah, which gives them the same range.
Oh, okay, sorry.
As 7. So, yeah, the Hydralisks, the Queens are going to be able to take down this Colossus pretty well. Queen's surprisingly good on Colossi because they're air attack. And the 3rd base has been broken for Truth. Revolution can take that down really, really quickly. But behind this, again, Revolution doesn't actually have his own 4th base. So the Truth isn't in an awful position. He's still in a really, really bad position.
Supply to 62.
189. Supply to
still in a really, really bad position. But
double Colossus attempting to get out, but if that Colossus can't do anything, there is 3 Vipers on the way saying, we will drag you as far as we need to.
I love it. I mean, 4 Colossi can do 4 Colossi amount of damage. Like, that's a...
I agree.
Literally 4 times as much as one.
Hydras, 50 Hydras worth of damage. Actually, Tim, I didn't. That's a very insightful thing.
You bring up an interesting point there, Tim.
Thank you. That's the first time you called me that, but yeah, we'll go with that. Right now, the only thing I don't like about Revolution right now is not actually. Never mind. Take that back.
His color. He probably should have a more manly color. I think pink is.
I totally agree. Pink is great right here. I was going to say Hydras, but never mind. Roaches are a great idea versus 4 Colossus. An Immortal being pumped out off the back of this Spire coming down for Revolution. Now, I love these Vipers moving up just a little bit because there's no meat to actually shoot the Vipers down. They can move up there and be fine. And I think Revolution knows that. He's going to try to move. I think he should move in a single file line up into the main and get some nice concave.
Yeah, one really cool thing that these Vipers could do is they can actually break their force fields with these Colossi. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're expired anyway, but, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter. All the tanks for the Colossi are dead. A couple Yonks, I think there's one more. Yeah, last Yonk, last Colossus. Bye-bye. The Truth in your 11 army supply to 97. Revolution is dancing his unit. It looks like he wants to secure his spot in the round of 16, and I think he's in a fantastic position to do it.
Amazing. Are you ready for that amazing chorus of letters that start with G?
And end with.
What?
I think we're ready.
Start with G and end with
GG!
Wait, Revolution! 2-1-ing.
Yeah.
Truth. And just to answer all our questions everyone was curious about, yes, he can handle the truth.